totaling 222 pages for yesterday. I guess that's our angel number for the day. My under eyes woke up this morning and said, give us hydration or give us death. We're switching to Christmassy books. Fantasy has just been disappointing me with my last couple of reads. Today is the first day that we get to do our advent calendar. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori. If you're new, welcome to a weekly reading vlog where we are trying to read 100 pages every single day this week, at least. That's like minimum, and then if I read more than that, perfect, but I'm not carrying over pages. So if I read more than 100 pages in a day, great. I still have to read 100 pages the next day, if that makes sense. So I hope that you're excited. If you are, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Let's talk about what I'm reading this week. So today is Monday, November 27th. I believe this is Bookmas Day 7, so happy Bookmas! I hope that you're having a wonderful time. I freaking love Bookmas. I feel like I say that every single video, but I really do. This week, I am going to be reading, I'm finishing a couple of my final books for November. I am currently on page 100, chapter 12 of God Killer by Hannah Kaner. I also have The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. I am 63 pages into this one. Started both of these yesterday, by the way. This morning I have been listening to this, so I will give an update very shortly. I'm up to part 2 in Ashes. I'm really enjoying this one. This is the one that I'm like most excited to read. Actually, that's a lie, because I also have Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey on my Kindle that I cannot wait to get to. It has been so long since I've read like a rom-com or a contemporary romance. I'm not usually a rom-com girly, but December, I'm like, give me the books that provide Hallmark movie energy. That's what I'm looking for. It's my first Tessa Bailey book ever. And I think that this book just got released fairly recently. Yeah, this book just got released in October and I haven't really seen anyone talk about it yet. So I'm excited to get to it. We'll see if I end up adding books to this list. We'll see how the reading goes. First little reading update. Like I mentioned, 100 pages into God Killer. I do have the audiobook for this, and I think the audiobook is really helping me because when I looked at the formatting of this book, I was like, bruh, why would you do that to us? This book is less than 300 pages, but it's because the font is so teeny tiny. I did not want to read this physically. So the audiobook is okay. The narrator is not my favorite. She reads in kind of a staccato style, meaning she treats commas like periods. She just stops a lot through reading like one sentence. So that was a struggle in the beginning, but I'm liking it a little bit more now. I really like I like two characters in particular. Kissin is my favorite. Kissin is a god killer. They live in this world where gods are forbidden in the kingdom of Midrin because of some historical things that happened in the past. The gods kind of turned against humans, it sounds like, at one point, and were killing them or being cruel to them, and so these humans have kind of turned on their gods. They're formed by human desires and fed by their worship. There are countless gods in the world, but after a great war, the new king outlawed them and now pays god killers to destroy anyone who tries to rise from the shadows. Sin, who is I'm gonna say she's like our main protagonist. It is a multi-POV story and we have a couple like main characters, but I feel like Kissin is like the main girly here. She saw her family murdered by a fire god, burned at the stake, essentially. She managed to escape that situation, but now she makes a living killing gods and really enjoying it. She's a very rough around the edges type girl, and I love her character so much. She ends up, I don't want to say getting hired, but this noble girl seeks her out because she has a god problem. She has a god that is a very small god of white lies that is connected to her in some way, and she wants to get rid of it. She doesn't know why this god attached itself to her, basically, but she's asking for Kissin's help to separate them both. And Kissin's first instinct is to kill the god, but she's like, you can't kill the god because if you kill the god, I think that you will kill me. And then we have a disillusioned knight on a secret quest. They have to travel to the city of Blenraden, where the last of the wild gods reside, to each beg a favor. I'm not gonna lie, I don't love this like retired knight that we're following. His name is Elo, and I'm not sure I like love his perspective. I just don't really understand what's going on with his backstory. It was explained in my opinion, in kind of a confusing way in the beginning. And I was immersive reading. I was reading along with the audiobook, but I had to read over the paragraph where it explained like his backstory and his, I guess, kind of like political views, if you want to view gods as like gods versus the king as like politics. It was just unnecessarily confusing in my opinion. He's a likable character, but his backstory turned me off in the beginning because I was like, why is this so confusing for no reason? But I'm hoping that we get more details about him as we continue to read, and we'll see. So far, I'm not like 100% in love with it, which is kind of disappointing. I find that I need to read a good portion of this book in one sitting in order to be like somewhat invested in it. So we'll see. And then the 63 pages that I've read of Ashes and the Star-Cursed King so far, loving. It picks up right where the first book left off, which is great. I'm not gonna lie, Serpent and the Wings of Night was not my favorite. However, I read Six Scorched Roses, the novella that's kind of in between book 1 and book 2, that follows completely different characters. Loved those characters so much. I gave Serpent and the Wings of Night 4 stars. I gave Six Scorched Roses 5 stars. I love Vale and Lilith so much, and I heard that they're in Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and they show up almost right away. I do need to read more of this. I'm buddy reading this with my friend Sarah, and we were supposed to read a little bit more last night. I'm on page 63. We were supposed to read up to page 100, so like another 40 pages. And I was just not in the reading mood last night, so I didn't do that. So I have to catch up on at least 40 pages, and then I think we're reading a little bit more. In terms of where we're at with our reading goal for 100 pages, I'm about 30 pages into it. I will check in a little bit later. I'm gonna keep listening to this audiobook. I have a lot of meetings at work today, so I'm gonna try to listen to the audio and just see how far I can get. It has been a little bit. We baked some bread. We didn't bake it. We started the starter and it has to rest for 18 to 24 hours. So I want to bake that tomorrow. If you watched, it would have been in one of my other vlogs that I posted a couple days ago, I think, for bookmas. But I found this recipe for no knead Dutch oven bread and I baked it and it came out so good. And I was like, I am on my fresh baked bread journey at this point. So I'm making the same thing. It's a no knead bread. I'm gonna bake it in my Dutch oven, but this time I added rosemary and garlic, and I can't wait for it to bake. The whole house tomorrow is going to smell absolutely amazing. I have been listening to God Killer basically this entire time. I have read or listened to 90 pages of this, so I only have 10 more pages to go before I hit my age goal for the day. I'm debating if I want to like stop here and take a break from this book. I'm really sad. Like, I don't know how I feel about it. It's perfectly fine. I think that the writing style for me is what's hurting me for whatever reason, but I can't put my finger on exactly what it is that just has me like bored. It is absolutely giving Witcher vibes. It's kind of giving Warbreaker vibes. If you liked the magic system in Warbreaker, I think that you would like this one as well. The gods are very different from Warbreaker, but like there's an aspect of color to the magic that I was like, oh, interesting. I'm definitely liking Elo a lot more now that he's like hooked up with this other gang. He's kind of met Kissin and Inara and they're like learning each other's backstories. I just think that the writing style is kind of dry. Like, it never fully sucked me in, and now they're kind of on this journey and there's a lot of downtime in this adventure story, and that's hurting me more than it's helping me. The rest of my pages today, I think I want to read Ashes and the Star-Cursed King instead of sticking with this. And then tomorrow, we should be able to finish this book. I only have 2 hours and 53 minutes left in this audiobook, which is very doable for another day.
friends, happy Tuesday. Apologies that I haven't checked in yet today. I've been doing a lot of things. This morning was a content creation morning. I took a bunch of pictures for Instagram. I filmed my video that I need to edit and schedule to go up for this Thursday, which is my last video of November. And then we baked our garlic and rosemary Dutch oven bread. Oh my gosh, it came out so good. Even better than the first one. The first one I didn't put any like flavoring in. I just made a plain loaf of bread. I am forever changed. But I wanted to check in. So I absolutely hit my 100-page goal. I actually read over 100 pages with both of my books combined. Last night I could not fall asleep for my stinking life. So I read up to page 220 in God Killer. So I read a lot of this yesterday. What's 220 minus 70? So I read 150 pages of this yesterday. And then I did read my section for Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. So I read 72 pages in this, totaling 222 pages for yesterday. I guess that's our angel number for the day. I feel so ill today. I don't know what is going on with my allergies or if it's just dust. Like, I have no idea what's happening, but my nose has been under attack. I cannot breathe. I have sneezed so many times that like my nose and my throat physically hurt. So I think what I'm gonna do is just lay down for a little while. I'm on my break from work. I'm just gonna lay down. I only have an hour and 20 minutes left in this audio, so that's what I'm going to listen to right now. That will be another 60 pages for the day, and then I'm trying to read a pretty big chunk of Ashes today as well, so I will check in once I read a little bit more and hopefully feel better.
Good morning, friends. Happy Wednesday. So I have some reading updates. Apologies that I didn't really give like any reading updates yesterday. I feel a little bit better today, which is great, but I'm still comfy cozy in a sweatshirt. I'm not 100%, but at least my nose and respiratory system isn't attacking me like it was yesterday. So I did finish a book yesterday. I finished God Killer by Hannah Kaner. I'm very torn with what I want to rate this because I didn't really enjoy reading it. Nothing is wrong with the book. I think it's well written. It's a cute story. It does leave off on kind of a cliffhanger because I know this is going to be a series. It just like wasn't for me. I found the story to be, it's extremely predictable. Hannah Kaner was not going for plot twists. She was going for adventure story, but for me, it just felt boring. And it is very character driven, but I wasn't super attached to any of the characters. So that's why it fell a little bit flat for me. I think it is still a good read. It just wasn't my favorite. So unfortunate, but that's that. That's the first book finished for this vlog. And then I am about 40% of the way through Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. And I know that y'all got mad at me about my feedback for Serpent. I keep going back and forth with this book as well about whether or not I'm fully enjoying it or not. There are some very, very juicy things that have happened that have like recaptured my attention, but I find myself going in waves. They are just not my favorite couple. And I'm having a really difficult time deciding how I want to update because I don't want to give any spoilers. I actually think this is going a little bit worse because I don't love the storytelling. I really am having a difficult time with one of the main plot twists that we got in book one. We're obviously getting more information about that whole thing. It has to do with our main character Araya, and I think that it's such lazy writing. I think it's a little bit sloppy, and it's one of the foundational pieces of the plot in this book. I think our goal today is to read about another 50 pages of this, and then for my other at least 50 pages, because we're hitting 100 pages a day, I'm going to start Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey, and I think that will be really good for me to just switch up my genres a little bit. My past couple books, ever since I read Warbreaker, have been so mid, and I'm like, is it me or is it the books that I'm reading? I honestly can't tell. I think that I'm in a little bit of a weird place with fantasy at this moment in time. So I read 97 pages of Ashes and the Star-Cursed King because I read from part 3 to part 4, and then I had about 60 pages left of God Killer. So yesterday I read 157 pages. We've been above goal for the first 2 days of this reading challenge, which is amazing. We're gonna keep that going. Happy Thursday, friends. So check-in from yesterday. I didn't end up hitting my 100 pages goal. I read 50 pages, technically 53, of Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. But I started reading last night at like 11 o'clock. I switched to Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, but I only read 2 chapters. So I read literally 11 pages. So total 64 pages read yesterday. It was an interesting first 50 pages. The first like 2 chapters, it took me a little bit to adjust to reading a rom-com because it's been literally so long since I've read one. And I didn't know anything about this book going into it. I went in completely blind, which I kind of like to do because I feel like it's really fun. Wreck the Halls is about 2 characters. Their moms used to be in a band together, like a really popular band, but the band broke up and they've had to kind of live in the public eye because they're like famous rock stars' children. But her name is Melody and she lives in New York. They only met one time when they were like 13, but they knew of each other and like because they're always talked about because their moms used to be like friends, and so they're constantly being compared in like the tabloids and all of these things. And I think that his name is Beat, and that really threw me for a loop. Like the first couple chapters I was like, I don't know if I can get into a book where his name is literally Beat. As I continued to read, it did get a little bit better and a little bit better. There's already like immediate tension. Like every time these 2 are around each other at this point, they want to like jump each other's bones, and I'm like, how did we get here? Like you guys don't know anything about each other, but they just have an immediate like attraction to each other, and it's so funny. It's very rom-com, it's very silly, and I'm kind of having a lot of fun with it. It's also so quick to read. So that is the update. I'm about to start reading, and then hopefully I will have a better reading update the next time I check in. Good morning, besties. Don't mind the appearance. I literally just woke up. Today is the first day that we get to do our advent calendar, so obviously I wanted to do it with y'all. I am also sending a video of me doing this to my friend Sarah because we both got the Nespresso advent calendars this year and we want to like do them together and react together. So we're gonna open this up and see what it is. Festive black double espresso. What's really funny is I actually ordered a sleeve of these like in November because I was like, ooh, this is a new flavor, I want to try it. So I do already know what this tastes like. I'm trying to do this update quickly because someone in my apartment complex is doing construction, and it is so loud and it's been going on all morning, which we love. So very quickly, an update from yesterday. I didn't hit 100 pages. I read 80 pages of Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, so just shy of my 100, but didn't hit it. We are changing that today, I promise. I've spent the morning reading a little bit more of Ashes. I'm now up to 66%. Let's see how many pages I've read. So I've actually read about 80 pages today so far, so we are very close to our goal and I'm not done reading for the day. Some very disappointing news. Ashes really just continues to disappoint me. I'm not enjoying it. I'm enjoying it actually even less than I was Serpent. The characters that I really love in this story, like I love Misha, I love Vale, I love Lilith, they almost don't have a role. Like the main focal center points are the main characters, Araya and Rain, which like obviously, but the side characters are so completely out of the center of focus. It is entirely Rain and Araya focused. You would think that they had learned some lessons in the competition that they were in. I'm trying to keep this as vague and broad as possible because no spoilers, but it seems like they almost didn't learn anything at all. They're completely out of their depth with this political conflict that they've now gotten themselves into, and they're just acting so dumb, like just not thinking things through. I'm very annoyed by them. And then the other like really massive hindrance for me with this book is the writing style. I find it so lazy, but I just find that she's recycling elements that she used in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. She touches on slavery, which was talked about significantly in the War of Lost Hearts trilogy. She uses it as a way to show that these characters were once so weak and like beaten down. That's already been done before with her. Like I got that, and I got everything that I needed from that with the War of Lost Hearts. I wanted the story to feel different, like give us more ways to connect to our characters, to show that they kind of came from this underdog position and now they're trying to overcome that. I really can't talk about anything else specific without like getting a bit spoilery, and I don't want to do that. The storytelling is what I'm really struggling with, and that's so hard for me because Carissa Broadbent has been so consistently like a 5-star author for me. Like the majority of the books that I've read by her are 5 stars. I honestly want to give Ashes and the Starcursed King 2 stars. I'm excited for the other duets in this series, but I'm so excited to not have another Rain and Araya book to struggle through. So I need to charge my Kindle. While that is charging, I'm going to start sketching out some of my spreads for my 2024 book bullet journal, and I do have an audiobook to start. I have Love Light Farms by BK Borison, so I figured why not just throw this in here because we're also reading Wreck the Halls. We're switching to Christmassy books. Fantasy has just been disappointing me with my last couple of reads, so changing it up has been quite fun, and I do hope to read more of Wreck the Halls maybe later today. Maybe that's how I'll end the day so that I don't have to end it reading Ashes, because I think that would be quite discouraging. I'm gonna do some bullet journaling. I'm probably not going to include that in here because I am gonna have a full video for my 2024 reading journal setup, but today my focus is just to pencil sketch out a lot of those spreads before I actually commit with ink to paper. I have a lot of new spreads that I'm incorporating into this journal that I'm really excited for. Just some different things that I want to start tracking into 2024. While there's another break in construction, I'm not gonna lie, it's been driving me absolutely crazy while I've been working on my 2024 bullet journal. Look how cute she is. I'm absolutely obsessed. I've been listening to Love Light Farms. I'm now 21% into the book, and I wanted to do a little bit of an update while it's quiet. I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving the tropes. I'm eating it up. It's a best friends to lovers fake dating, and he is so golden retriever cutie angel boy, and I'm obsessed. And she runs it's a Christmas tree farm, but like they also do other things too. Like they have like pumpkins and stuff like that. It's just like a cute, adorable little farm, and she lives on a cottage at the corner of her property, and it's just so cute. This one, it's still very like corny, cheesy, but in a beautiful, perfect way, and it's starting to get into these like moments where their tension is building, but it seems very natural. Like it's definitely not forced in Love Light Farm. I'm sorry if you can hear that in the background. The intensity from like Love Light Farms, the couple, their tension is like very slowly building, whereas like Wreck the Halls, it's like they've never touched each other, hung out, really spoken, and immediately there's just like, it's like electric. Like there's like a shock between them, and they're just both very sexually charged energy like between them. So it's very different, but I actually am, this book is making me excited to return to Wreck the Halls as well. So I'm gonna keep listening. I wanted to just do that little bit of a check-in, and it's really nice because I am, little sneak peeks, I'm just doing a lot of like tedious work with my bullet journal setup, and this like wouldn't be fun to watch, you know what I mean, like on a video. So I'm excited to do like a flip through of this with y'all. I really am enjoying the new spreads that I'm making, but it's so much fun to just be like listening to an audiobook while doing this as well. Good morning, besties. Happy Saturday. I have some big reading updates from yesterday. Also, don't mind what's happening here. We're gonna get ready together. My under eyes woke up this morning and said, give us hydration or give us death. And so I had to do these little patchy patches, and now they feel much better, I do say. So I need to calculate how many pages I read yesterday, but I read a lot yesterday. I'm very proud of myself after disappointing myself and everyone else and not hitting my 100 page goal for 2 days in a row. We definitely hit our page goal yesterday. So I read from 14% to 72% in Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. Listen, Linda, I stayed up last night until 2 in the morning because I could not put that book down. I was getting one more chapter syndrome so hardcore because it was just so much fun to read, and it's a very like not serious book. But I think that after reading Ashes and the Star-Cursed King for a pretty long period of time yesterday, I read from, I don't know how many pages I read. I know that I'm on page 452, but I forget where exactly I started. But I read a really big portion of Ashes and the Star-Cursed King, and I was really hoping that it was gonna get better for me. We did get some more parts with characters that I do enjoy. Like we got some more parts with Misha. Her and Rain had a really cute moment in the last section that I read, and then we actually did get a little bit more of Vale and Lilith as well, but it's just not substantial enough to like make up for how I'm feeling about this book as a whole. Now that I'm in the last section of the book, I'm not gonna lie, it really feels like Daughter of No Worlds. Like it's giving very similar plot points and feelings as like a Daughter of No Worlds, and I feel like the plot elements have been very, very similar. So after feeling so disappointed and sad by Ashes, I think that reading some very like non-serious Christmas romances really, really helped me. And then I forget if I checked in about Lovelight Farms yesterday. I think I did briefly, but I listened to 34% of that book, and I'm also loving that one a lot. And Lovelight Farms is giving much more like Christmas. They actually went to like a Thanksgiving dinner, so we're not quite at the Christmas vibes yet. However, I know that it's gonna get more Christmassy, whereas Wreck the Halls, it's not giving Christmas. It's giving like winter romance, which I'm not complaining about because I like the romance. I also like the spice. Like Tessa Bailey's spice I've heard about from other people, and I'm experiencing it for the first time. And it's not disappointing. I'm really, really enjoying it. I only have an hour and a half left of Wreck the Halls. My goal is to try to finish that book today, and it's Saturday, so today is the last day of this vlog, so I'm trying to finish books. Finish Ashes and the Star-Cursed King because I just so want to be done with that book at this point. Quick reading check-in because I have hit my page goal for the day. So I read the remaining 150 pages from Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. We're not going to talk about my rating and my thoughts for that book because I really would just like to move on to something more positive. I did write an entire review of it, like a very in-depth review of Ashes if you are curious, on my Goodreads, which is always linked down below. I am going to be moving on to finish Wreck the Halls by Tessa Bailey. I'm so excited for something that's just like not serious, silly, goofy, tee-hee. Mind you, like, I feel the need to clarify this because I'm not sure if I mentioned it like in my earlier update. Wreck the Halls isn't perfect writing, stunning plot, like stunning characters, anything like that. It's just the silly, goofy, smutty time that I needed. I'm probably feeling like it's about like a 3-star read in terms of like writing and characters and plot and stuff like that, but in terms of enjoyment level, it's like a 4-star for me. It's just something quick that I can fly through, and it's really making me want to swerve off of my December TBR and just read some like smutty Kindle Unlimited Christmas novellas. That and Lovelight Farms. I did listen to a little bit more of Lovelight Farms when I was making my salad earlier and like putting the groceries away, and the way that the small town setting is really playing into the Lovelight Farms like romance and the fake dating. If I don't do a final check-in tonight of like closing out this vlog with my page count for the day, I will absolutely be doing that like tomorrow morning. Hi friends, I'm here to do a final wrap up for yesterday and then also for this vlog. So yesterday I ended up reading only a couple more pages, or I guess like maybe 3 more chapters of Wreck the Halls. Totaling for Saturday, I read 150 pages of Ashes to finish it, and then about 30 pages of Wreck the Halls, so 180 pages in total. But
that hit our goal, so we're happy with that. However, this morning on Sunday morning sprints, I did finish Wreck the Halls. As that book continued, the plot and the events that they were going to and like the things that were happening in their relationship just got more and more outlandish. So it was a little bit crazy towards the end. However, I just wanted something like that, so I ended up giving that book 3 stars. Enjoyment level was probably a 4-star, but like the writing and like if I wasn't in the mood for a book like that, I probably would not give it a 3-star. But the spice was so good. I'm actually very intrigued to read more from Tessa Bailey because I've heard that her books are just unserious, a good spicy time. If you're wondering how cheesy it was, just know that aside from the main characters' names being Beat and Melody, there was literally a line in one of the chapters that said, you can't have a beat without a melody. And I was like, bruh, please, this is so cheesy, but it was super, super cute. It was so fun. So all in all, I feel like this was kind of a difficult reading week because some books were very miss and some books were hitting the way that I needed them to. But I hope that you enjoyed this vlog, friends. If you did, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. I will catch you in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!